Okay, so GMade Transition shocks. And they give you shock oil, springs, shafts, washers, pins, shock mounts, shock parts, and shock bodies. And instructions on how to build them. Shock assembly instructions. Alrighty. Before I get started, I need to get me a towel to set down here so I don't lose any pieces. This towel basically keeps the parts from rolling away. Alright, first thing, the shock pistons. So we need shock shafts. There's the shock shafts. And little, of course, white parts. Crazy little rubber washers. A ton of them. Okay. 4 shock shafts. And we need to open up this parts bag. Okay, you end up with a small burr. So you need to take off. Alright. So, one of these little C-clips. If you want to call them those, that needs to go on. And God only knows these things. You can lose these in a heartbeat if you don't get them right. They'll pop and fly, and then you're kind of stuck. Okay, first one. Then we put on the shock dealy piston, and then try to get the next C-clamp on without it flying away. Alright, one down. And I didn't lose the clamp. It looks like, maybe, if we don't have to use any anywhere else, they give you 2 extra ones. There goes one flying. Like I said, it's difficult. If you guys are watching this and you know a better way to do this, please let me know. There goes one. There's the first one I lost. Oh my goodness. I mean, it went flying too. can't lose anymore. Got to find a better way. Okay, I figured out a better way to put these little C-clamps on. Take your shock shaft, take your shock piston, make sure all your little burrs are off. Place it on top of the shock shaft. Let it fall down just enough so you can get that C-clamp into that little slot. And the top of that shock piston will hold it on there. Then with your needle nose on one side of the shock shaft and one side of the C-clamp, squeeze and it will lock into place. And then flip it over like this and place the C-clamp on the top of the shock piston into the slot in the shaft, like so. Just set it on top, and then again C-clamp and piston, and I knocked it off and squeeze. Now I've done 3 of these. The last one I'm giving you instructions on how to do it, and I'm having problems. Okay, now once you have it on down, man, probably the hardest part of building the shocks. Alright, next. Okay, after you get the top on the shaft, or the piston on the shaft, the next thing you need to do is take a cap cover. Okay? And inside the cap cover you put one of the little O-rings. Then you place a spacer inside the cap cover, on top of the O-ring. Take another O-ring, a little oil on that O-ring, put it inside the cap cover, and then take a little cover that goes on the cap cover to hold the O-ring and the spacer in place. It just snaps on, and you end up with this. And once you have that, you take your shock body, take your short spring, we're using what's called a droop setup, and you put your droop setup, keeps the truck level. If you want to use the other setup, which is the sprung setup, which brings it up a little bit, you would put the long spring in first. Put your short spring inside the shock body. Fill it up with oil. It shows on the instructions to fill it all the way to the top. I would not do that because when you set the piston shaft with the shock body, okay, so you put the long spring on top of on the shaft, the cap on the shaft, put the short spring inside, the long spring on the shaft, put the piston inside, slowly lower it down, and I still got oil coming out because I did not put it all the way to the top. Okay, They give you a tool here to tighten the shock cap. Kind of fits right over the top of that. Grab a hold of it and turn it till it tightens. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to pop that. Have oil everywhere. Okay. Feels pretty good. All right. One more time in case I didn't get it right. Okay, shock body. Shock shaft with a shock piston. Shock cap. Shock cover for the cap. And the spacer. Put a little oil on your finger. Get that O-ring. Put it inside the shock cap. Put the spacer inside the shock cap. A little more oil on your fingers. Another O-ring goes on top of that spacer. And then this cover snaps on for your top of your shaft. Again, we're using the droop method. So we put the spring on, the large spring on the shaft, put the shaft cover, shock cover on that, take the shock body, put the small spring inside, and then put oil in. Again, it says all the way to the top. I don't think I would do that. I've done it twice now, and both times I've overflowed it, which I guess is okay. You'll know it's full. Take the shock shaft with the shock cover and the shock piston and lower it inside, and of course it overflows again. Do not cross the threads on your shock cover. Got a little tool again to tighten it. I think I got it tightened up, and it's slippery with the oil on. Okay. Everybody got it. I got one more to do. All right, now clean up the mess. Shock oil, ain't much you can do about it. All right, so that's the building of the shocks for GMade shocks. The only thing left to do is put them on the truck. So y'all have a good day. I'll finish up with the end pieces and put them, show you how I put them on the truck. If you like this video, click the notification bell and subscribe to this channel, and it would be totally appreciated. Y'all have a good day.